Yay! Good evening, everyone. It's nice to be back. Good evening, everyone, and it's nice to be back online. I hope everyone is doing fine. Hi, Dexine. I hope you're doing okay. Apologies once again from the error and the technical issues that happened last week, that we were not able to do our live stream, but we are back. I hope everyone's doing fine. Okay, so for tonight we will be doing addition and subtraction of polynomials. This will be the first part of our live stream tonight. And then the second part would be science. So for maths, we will have addition and subtraction of polynomials. And then for science, we will be doing the atmosphere. And part of atmosphere would be your weather and climate. So, yay! How's everyone doing? Okay, so we start off with addition and subtraction. So when we say addition and subtraction of polynomials, that means that from the word poly, the word poly means many. Alright? So the word poly here means many. So many terms, polynomials. So many terms or many of your expression. So if you have this, we will actually have to first determine what. Hi Kaini, good evening. So we will first determine what are your polynomials, or what are the rules when we add and subtract polynomials. So before anything else, let's first identify polynomials can only be added and subtracted if they are like terms. So when we say like terms, that means that they have exactly the same, okay? They have exactly the same terms. So when we say we come from the same family, or like, or we are alike, that means that we will have, hi Maha Blanca, that means that we will have exactly the same surname, okay? So the same thing with your like terms. If you have the same surname or the same terms, then you are considered to be like terms. Alright, so let's try to identify. Let's say for example 3x. What is the same with 3x? The same with 3x should have an x as well. Okay, so 3x is the same with negative 7x. That means that the coefficient would be okay to be different. The number, the constant coefficient is okay to be different. The same with your family. You might have a brother, you might have a sister, you might have a mother, a father. You are different, however, you are coming from the same family, you have the same surname. So the same with your polynomials. 3 is different with negative 7, however their surname, which is x, okay, which is represented by x, is the same. So 3x and negative 7x is like terms, okay? We are looking for like terms. Alright, so if we have, let's say for example 5y, is there anything that is the same with 5y? So if there's nothing that is the same with 5y, that means that 5y doesn't have a like term on this set of terms. Okay, what else is, let's say 2x squared. Is there anything that is the same with 2x squared? So 2x squared, like terms of this will be negative 8x squared. That means both of those terms have x squared. Okay, so 2x squared, negative 8x squared, they are considered to be like terms. The other one we have, let me use a different color, x cubed y. is there anything that has x cubed y as well? So if you would notice, 4x cubed y below has exactly the same. It has x cubed y, and the other one has an x cubed y. Therefore, they are together considered as like terms. Now, if there is no number before your literal coefficients, your variable or your letters, that means that it's considered that this is actually has a 1 on that. Okay, so x cubed y and 4x cubed y are considered to be like terms. Okay, now how about our 4xy? Is there anything that is the same with xy? So if you couldn't find anything that is the same with xy, that means that it is not, it doesn't have any like terms. The same thing with 9x squared y, nothing is the same with 9x squared y. Therefore, it is considered to be no like terms of the sets. Okay, so we are just talking about which of the following are like terms. You have 2x squared and negative 8x squared, they are like terms. 3x and negative 7x are like terms. X cubed y and 4x cubed y are like terms. And that's it. Okay, so nothing else will be the same. Okay, so the rule for addition and subtraction is we can only add and subtract if they are the same or like terms. So for example, when we add polynomials, we simply add the constants or the numbers, okay, the coefficients, your numbers, and then your numerical coefficient, we only add them, and then we copy the literal coefficients or your variables. Okay, so we have two ways how to add polynomials. It's either horizontal or vertical. So I will show you if it is a vertical addition of polynomials. What you need to do is you make sure that they are on the same column. The same or like terms should be on the same column. So I will copy 2x squared plus 3x minus 4 plus, okay, we are doing a vertical addition. So you place 4x squared under 2x squared because they are the same variable. Okay, they are like terms. And then you have plus 4x, same like terms, and then plus 8, the same. And then we place your line. Alright, so then we add. When we add, again, you only add the coefficient that is the number, and then all we need to do is copy our variable or our like terms or the surname. Hi Shacha. Okay, so we have 4 plus 2, we have 6, copy x squared. It's very simple. Plus 3 plus 4, which is 7, copy x. And then if you have different signs, what do we do if it's different sign? Different signs, we subtract and copy the number with the highest value. So copy the, not copy the number, sorry. Good evening Sacha. Copy the sign of the bigger number, not copy the number. Okay, so negative 4 plus 8, they are different sign, therefore we subtract. What is 8 minus 4 or 4 minus 8? We subtract, that is a 4. And since 8 has the highest, therefore we copy the sign of your 8. Yay! Wow! Oh, okay. Hi Maha Blanca. Congratulations, by the way, to Sacha and Maha Blanca. Thank you for joining us tonight for our live stream. Both of you just won 50 pesos worth of load, so I'm going to give it to you in a while after our lesson. Alright, Thank you. Please stay back and I'll give you all your prizes you just won for our facts about Teacher Maria. Thank you for posting your questions. Okay, so going back to our lesson, so adding polynomials, we have two ways to add them. It's either vertically or we add them horizontally. So what I'm showing to you tonight now is vertical. The way that we add polynomials in a vertical way is that we will align them in column the same or like terms. So you have 2x squared, 3x, and minus 4 added to 4x squared plus 4x plus 8. Okay, so all we need to do is all we need to do is add the numbers or add the variables. So 4 plus 2 is 6, and then we just need to copy the literal coefficient. All right, okay, next one we have still the same adding. Now this time I will show you how to do it in a horizontal way. Okay, so horizontal way, first thing that we have to check is y squared from this group, and if there is a y squared on the other group. So y squared is here and there is a 6y squared there. So all we need to do is rearrange them. Okay, so y squared and 6y squared here. All right, yay, yes, y squared and 6y squared. So all we need to do, you can rearrange them, put them together, or what you need to do is just directly add the numbers. Okay, and then copy the variables or your terms. So as I've mentioned, if there are no numbers in a term, okay, like for example y squared, there is no number before y squared, that is understood to be 1. There is a 1 there. So y squared is a 1 there added to your 6y squared. So 1 plus 6 will be 7. Copy y squared. Okay, and then the next one will be 5xy, that's positive 5xy, and negative 8xy. So 5 minus 8 is negative 3. Okay, so 5 minus 8, what we do is take the difference, 8 minus 5 or 5 minus 8, and then you copy the sign of the bigger number. So the bigger number is negative 8, so that will be negative 3, and then copy xy. Alright, and then we have negative 9 and plus 4. So negative 9 plus 4 again are different signs, so we subtract. 9 minus 4 is 5, and since negative 9 or 9 has a higher value than 4, we copy the sign of 9. So that will be negative 5. Okay, so that is your answer for y squared plus 5xy minus 8 plus 6y squared minus 8xy plus 4. Again, if there is no number before your term, that is understood to be 1. So 1y squared plus 6y squared is 7y squared. 5xy and plus negative 8xy are different, okay, different signs. Therefore, we subtract 5 from 8 or 8 from 5, and then we copy the sign of the bigger number. Okay, so that is for addition. Now let's try again. Once again, we do the following. You have 3x cubed. You check if there is any 3x cubed on the other side. Okay, that's the first step. Find the like terms. Since there is no 3x cubed on the other side, all we need to do is copy. Okay, so we copy 3x cubed. Why do we copy it? Because it doesn't have any like terms on the other side. Okay, and then we have the next one is 8x. We check if there is an x on the other side. There is an x on the other side. So 8 plus 1 is 9. Again, if there is no number before your variable or before your letter, that is understood to be 1. So 8 plus 1 would be 9. Copy X. Alright? Okay. Next one will be negative 4 and positive 10. Different signs, we will subtract. So negative 4 plus 10, we subtract 4 plus 10, 4 from 10, that will be 6. So since 10 has the higher value and it is positive, therefore it's plus 6. Okay? And then we have another value on the other side, which is 2x squared. So since there's no other 2x squared, so all we need to do is copy. The last step that you have to do is you have to arrange your final answer in the order of decreasing. Okay? In the order of decreasing power of your variable. So we have 3x cubed plus 2x squared plus 9x plus 6. Alright, so that will be your final answer. Okay, let's move on. This will be I think the last of your adding polynomials. So again, check 2y squared, 6y squared, the same term or like terms, we add 2 plus 6, we have 8y squared. And then you have 9xy, there's no 9xy on the other side, so plus 9xy. Negative 9 and positive 8, so we add negative 9 plus 8. So since different signs, we will subtract. That will be 9 minus 8 is 1, and since 9 has the bigger value and it is negative, therefore it's negative 1. And then we copy negative x squared y. Okay, and then we rearrange it according to the decreasing value. So we have x squared negative, we can actually just leave it as it is as well, that's not a problem. So we have 8y squared minus x squared y plus 9xy minus 1. Okay? Now, for subtraction. Now, when we do subtracting polynomials, do be careful that if we have subtraction, that means that we have to proceed to addition and change all the signs right after where the subtraction sign is. Okay? So again, if we do subtraction, we have to proceed to addition by changing the sign. Okay? Right after your operation subtraction. So for this case, the first thing that you have to do is change all the signs. Okay? If you are familiar with how to do subtraction already, then no need to change the sign. Do you get it? So if you are familiar with the process of how to do subtraction, you don't need to change the sign. However, if you are not familiar, change the sign first to operation, change the sign to addition operation, and then change the rest of the sign to the opposite. Okay? So since that is subtraction, we will change. So this will be 9x squared minus 7x minus 1. We proceed to addition plus, okay? And then this will be negative, I'll just change it, color, negative 4x squared plus 4x minus 3. Okay, so again, everything after your subtraction, you proceed to addition and change the sign. Okay, So that will be plus negative 4x plus 4x minus 3. Alright, and then we proceed by adding. So you have 9x squared plus negative 4x, different signs, we will subtract. So 9 minus 4 is 5. Copy the sign of the bigger number, which is 9. Copy x squared, which is your like terms. The next one, we have negative 7x and 4x. Again, different signs, negative 7 and 4. So we subtract. 7 minus 4 would be 3. And since 7 has the higher value and it's negative, so we have negative 3x. And then negative 1 plus negative 3, which is the same sign. That means that we add it, and that will be negative 4. Okay, so this will be our final answer. 5x squared minus 3x minus 4. Yay! Alright, so again, another example for subtracting. We have to change this, so we copy y squared plus xy plus 11, and then we proceed to addition. Let me use a different color. Addition, that's plus, and then everything here will be change the sign. So negative 3y squared minus 2xy minus 7. Okay, so we change the sign right after the subtraction. So proceed to addition and change all the signs right after subtraction. Then we collect the same terms or like terms, y squared and negative 3y squared. Two different signs being added, therefore we subtract. 3 minus 1 is 2. And since 3 is higher, so we copy negative 2y squared. And then we have xy and xy, negative 2xy and xy. So xy is to be 1, okay? If there is no number before xy, that is considered to be 1. So 1 plus negative 2, we subtract. 2 minus 1 is 1. And since negative 2 is a bigger value, so we copy the sign of negative 2. So that will be negative xy. Okay? And then we have 11 plus negative 7. Different signs, we subtract. 11 minus 7 is 4. Okay? And then you have plus sign, therefore that is plus 4. Okay, because 11 is a bigger number and it's positive, so it will be plus 4. Therefore, y squared plus xy plus 11 minus 3y squared plus 2xy plus 7 is negative 2y squared minus xy plus 4. Okay? Alright, so we have last example for subtracting. We have 7x. Again, the first step that we have to do is change the operation, proceed to addition, and change the sign right after addition. So, sorry, right after the subtraction. So we proceed to addition and then change the sign. So negative 2xy, 2x squared minus 4x plus 10. Okay, so we change the sign. So proceed to addition and change all the signs right after your addition. Okay, right after you change it. So again, we combine or add like terms or subtract like terms. 7x cubed and nothing, right? There is no like term with 7x cubed. Therefore, we just copy 7x cubed. And then we have negative 3x. We have negative 4x on the other side. So both are the same sign. So we add. We have negative 7x. Negative 5 and 10. Different signs. So we subtract. 10 minus 5 is 5. So that's plus 5. And then we have one left, which is negative 2x squared. Again, we arrange them according to decreasing order of your power. So we have 7x cubed minus 2x squared minus 7x plus 5. Okay, so that will be your final answer. Yay! Any question? Question for subtraction and addition. I hope that you are able to understand when we add and subtract. Again, the most important thing that we have to remember when we add and subtract is that you can only add, subtract if they are like terms. Okay, like terms means 2x and 5x. These are like terms, therefore we can add them, which is 7x. Okay, if it is not like terms, all we have to do is copy them. Okay, we don't cancel them, we don't erase them, we just move them forward and just copy them. The other thing that you have to remember, if you are subtracting, you have to proceed to addition and change all the signs right after your subtraction. So proceed to addition, change subtraction to addition, and proceed to changing all the signs right after addition. Great! No question, clarification. Then we proceed to science. I know you're very excited to play tonight. We have our 24 card game, so we'll be playing in a while. Yay! Alright, so for science, we have atmosphere, weather, and climate. Now, we all know if our Earth or our geosphere, which is the land, has different layers, core, we have our mantle and our crust. The same thing with our atmosphere. Atmosphere is our gaseous state of our Earth. Okay, so the atmosphere is a layer of gas that surrounds the Earth. So in terms of atmosphere, we have different layers. So if you would notice here, we have our stratosphere, we have our troposphere, and so on. So there are actually several layers of our atmosphere. Okay, so let's go through each layer of our atmosphere. Okay, so the first layer that we have is our troposphere. I cannot see it. Troposphere. All right, so when we say troposphere, your troposphere is the bottom layer. From the Earth, it's about 12 kilometers in altitude. That means from 0 to 12 kilometers. That is your troposphere. This is where we live and the weather, all the weathers would happen. So cloud formation, air movement, turbulence, whatever it is on the troposphere. So it gets colder as you increase the altitude. Okay, so as you go up higher, that will be increasing in terms of temperature. Increasing in altitude is decreasing in temperature. It gets colder. Alright, so most of atmosphere's mass is in troposphere. That means that the densest layer, because of gravitational pull, is very strong here. So that means that your troposphere has the most mass. Okay, so your airplanes actually do not fly higher than or about 11 kilometers. So it is within our troposphere. Alright, so next one we have our stratosphere. So stratosphere is the one above our troposphere. So if you can see, it begins because of like your cumulonimbus clouds or your storm clouds reach until your stratosphere. Okay, so it extends right after troposphere up to 50 kilometers high. So this layer of our atmosphere, which is your stratosphere, this is actually way less air pressure. So there is less air pressure here. So therefore, if less air pressure, less mass, less density, less gravitational force. Okay? Strato, from the word strato, meaning it's being spread out. Okay? Spreading out. So the air does not move a lot here, but it is a layer that is being spread out. Okay? So stratosphere is where your ozone is formed. Alright, so ozone is formed in this layer, your O3. So your O3 is very important, and I know that you have been hearing ozone layer depletion, hearing the word ozone, because our ozone is the one that absorbs all the UV or most of our UV radiation from our sun. So the temperature here increase with the altitude in the stratosphere because of the ozone. Okay, so tropospheres temperature, as you increase in altitude, the temperature decreases. However, for stratosphere, as you increase in altitude, there is also an increase in temperature because of our ozone that absorbs UV. So since it absorbs UV, it gets energized, it moves faster, therefore it produces a lot of heat. So that's the reason why our stratosphere is, yes, it's hot in here. Alright, next layer. So you have troposphere. So let's put it here. We have our troposphere and we have our stratosphere, and the next one is your mesosphere. So your mesosphere is 50 to 90 kilometers above. Meso, from the word meso. Meso means middle. So if you would notice, mesosphere is the middlemost of all the layers. So we have two layers on top of it and two layers below of it. So meso means middle. 99% of your mass here lies below the mesosphere. So here in mesosphere, there is no enough oxygen, not enough oxygen to breathe, but in troposphere, in between the jet plane or any of your plane is in the upper troposphere. It has to go beyond the clouds, but lower than your stratosphere, just above, around 11 kilometers. I hope I answered your question, Ambery. So airplanes fly just above 11 kilometers, and since troposphere is 12 kilometers in terms of layer, so just above 11 kilometers, that is because of the clouds. Yes, because you don't want too much turbulence, and you want it to be less in terms of the heavy clouds reaching on it. It has lesser air pressure, less mass for stratosphere. I hope I answered your question. So it is between. Alright? Okay, so mesosphere, from the word meso meaning middle. So it has not enough energy, oxygen to breathe, but percent of it is still the same. Alright, so most meteoroids burn up here. Welcome, Ambry. So most of our meteoroids, those that are coming in to our atmosphere, burns up here. So the air is very thin, but still dense enough to slow down meteor showers. So if you would see the meteoroids, the meteor shower, then that is in your mesosphere. That is the reason why they burned, is because of the friction of your particles. Okay, so mesosphere, there is not an ozone layer to cause heating, so temperature is decreasing with altitude. So since the ozone layer is in your stratosphere, so therefore mesosphere, as you go higher, as you go up or higher in terms of altitude, your temperature also decreases. Okay, so remember, mesosphere is middle, stratosphere means spread out. Okay, so stratosphere is where your O2 is. O3, sorry, not O2. Okay, the next layer is your thermosphere. Thermosphere is above your mesosphere. It's around 690 to 300 miles and kilometers. Yes, kilometers. It had actually with no real upper limit, so it's space actually. So it has less dense of all layers. It's very least dense of all your layers. So few molecules are far apart and moving fast because of radiations and absorption in thermosphere. Okay, so from the word thermo, okay, thermo meaning temperature. So the temperature here can reach up to 2000 degrees Celsius, but it would feel very cold. Why is it so? Because of the too few hot molecules to transfer heat. So temperature can vary greatly here because of the solar activity from the sun. So thermo, from the word thermo meaning heat. So sometimes, right, your thermosphere here is actually divided into two layers. You have your ionosphere and your exosphere, which is the one on top. Okay, so those are the two layers. So when we say ionosphere, this is where your ions are. Okay, so this is the lower part of your thermosphere. Solar radiation is very strong here. It absorbs a few oxygen, nitrogen molecules, and if you are familiar with the aurora borealis, so your northern lights, they glow because of ions. So they actually can be seen because of the ionosphere. It happens in the ionosphere. Okay, so that is your the lower part of your thermosphere. The upper part of your thermosphere, which is the last layer, is your exosphere. So this is the outermost part, exosphere. Exo, can you remember what is exothermic? Meaning releasing, going out. So exosphere is the outermost. It's infinity and beyond. To infinity and beyond. Exosphere is everything outside. Okay, where your satellites orbit, where any of your atoms that are escaping into the space is here. Okay, your signals, your satellites, they are all here. So that is your exosphere. Exo meaning outer. All right, so we have our exosphere, thermosphere, mesosphere, stratosphere, and troposphere. So these are the different layers of your atmosphere. Okay, so let's look into what is happening in the troposphere, the first layer. So we have our weather and climate. So the difference between the two is that the weather is temporary. Okay, temporary. It's a temporary behavior of our atmosphere. So what's going on a certain day, it might be raining now, it might stop raining later. So whatever is the weather, it's temporary. It means that it has covered a small geographic area only. It can change rapidly. As I have mentioned, it might be raining and then it will stop in a few minutes and then you will have sunlight the whole day. So that is your weather. It's temporary. So the one that studies weather is what we call a meteorologist. The one that studies weather, meteorologist. So the study of weather is called meteorology. Meteorology. All right. It's meteorology. So that is weather. Now in terms of climate, if weather is temporary, climate is long term. Okay, it's a long-term behavior of our atmosphere and it covers large geographical area. So that is our climate and it changes very slow. All right, so that's the difference. So weather is temporary, climate is long-term. So that is why we have a temperate, a tropical area. So these are our climate. So climate changes long term. Alright, and weather is temporary. So what factors affects our weather and climate? The factor we have is the sun, positioning of our sun, okay, wherever our axis from the sun is. It's only dry and wet. Philippines is only dry and wet. Okay, so factors affecting Kaini, Philippines is only dry and wet. Okay, factors of affecting weather is one is the sun. So how we are positioned on, if we are near the equator or if we are above the equator or below the equator, it affects the weather and climate. That is the reason why we are close to the equator. So we are a tropical country. We don't experience winter, spring, summer, or fall. Okay, we only experience your dry and wet. So that is because of the positioning of the sun. The next one is water cycle. So the water cycle, it affects as well because of the evaporation, transpiration, condensation, so the cycle of our water. So if we are hit more of our sun, that means that if water evaporates and then it rains and then it again becomes very hot, so it warms the atmosphere actually. Okay, sorry, the water keeps the water cycle moving is our sun. So your water cycle actually identify as well as one of the factors that affects our climate. Okay, so precipitation, the more that the sun is high or hot in our place, it will absorb, your water will evaporate and then it precipitates as rain. Okay, so if there's not much of your heat, that means your water freezes and it becomes snow. So that's the difference. Since we are a tropical country or near the equator, so that means that the water would be liquefied. So if we are somewhere in Antarctic or Arctic places, then it will be solidified as a snow. The next factor that affects our climate and weather is, of course, our atmosphere. Okay, so how does atmosphere affects? The atmosphere is a mixture of gases. That's what we know. Gases that surrounds the earth. So there are different layers of your atmosphere. So the air, the temperature, the weather occurs in that layer, the troposphere, remember? So because it happens in the troposphere layer, that means that it is being affected. Okay, so that is the reason why we have a different climate. So we also have your global warming and climate change. That is because of the changes in our atmosphere as well. Okay, and of course the last one would be your ocean. So ocean also affects, or it is a factor that affects our weather and climate. That is because of the cold front, warm front, where the wind would be blowing. Okay, where would be your the wind blowing for your land, going to your land or against. Okay, so those are your different factors that affects your weather and climate. Yay! So going back to, so what are the seasons? So again, if there are several factors that affects our climate, we also have our season. That is what mostly what we have in other parts of the earth. Okay, the different seasons. So we have 4 seasons. So a traditional division of the year based on unique weather conditions. In temperate regions, we have winter, spring, summer, and fall. In tropical regions like Philippines, we have dry and wet. Okay, so again, the seasonality or the seasons are, what is the reasons for the seasons? The variation in the duration and intensity of our solar radiation that is being received when we tilting of the Earth's axis, and the other one is axial axial parallelism. So seasonality, the intensity, the duration, the insolation, how our altitude are, angles above and below the horizon, this actually affects the season. So day length, how long our length is, that's why there are some places or some area in our in different countries where they have longer days or longer nights. That is because of the positioning of our, or the tilting of the earth. Okay, so of course those that are on top will have lesser sun ray, or those that are on the middle will get more sun ray, and those below will get lesser sun ray. So that is the reason why we have the seasonality. Okay, the tilting. Okay, so primary thing is the variation or the duration of the intensity of the radiation or the solar radiation that we receive. Okay, and tilting, the axis is tilted actually around 23.5 degrees, okay, from the plane. And parallelism, when we say parallelism, is how the alignment of the earth when it orbit around the sun. So it will change from North Pole to your South Pole when it is being in the axis where it is, when it is rotating, actually change. So it will change in terms of positioning. I think, yes, I have it here. Okay, so in terms of positioning, our earth would change, the tilting and the season. So what are the seasons that we have? We have winter, spring, summer, and fall. So we have spring, summer, autumn, or fall, and then we have our winter. So when spring is somewhere in March to June, we have summer between June to September. This is when the sun is hottest and brightest. Okay, and then we have our fall or our autumn, that is between September to somewhere in December. Okay, so this is, days are getting shorter and cooler. And of course our winter, which is in December to somewhere in March. So because of climate change, this might change as well. You might there are some countries that will be having longer winter, or probably a very bad winter season. So it depends. Okay, so that means you have winter, spring, summer, and fall. So fall and your spring, we have equinox. We call that equinox. Okay, so when we say equinox, this means that they do not have an equal daylight and darkness received. So we have your spring equinox and you have your fall equinox. That means that you don't receive the same or exactly equal amount of daylight and darkness. Okay, that's what we call by equinox, if you encounter that word. And of course the second one, we have solstice. I think you're familiar with these words. Solstice for your winter and summer. So when we say solstice, this is the result of the change of the length and of your days. Okay, the change of the length of your days and nights. All right, so you might have shorter days or longer days. So that is because of the tilting and the amount of sunlight that we receive. Okay, and of course for Philippines and even for Malaysia, we have dry and wet season. So dry is a subtropical anticyclone, moves over desert margin. I think you will always hear this word ITCZ in our weather forecast. ITCZ means Intertropical Convergence Zone. This is the band of clouds consisting of occasional thunderstorm. So if you have thunderstorms, or if you have storms, then that is ITCZ. So this is towards or on your equatorial side. If it is wet, your ITCZ moves towards the pole. So that is the reason why we have your monsoon and amihan, okay, the different blow of your wind. Okay, so you have your dry and wet. Question. Any question before we start with our game? So again, you have different layers of your atmosphere. You have your troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. And because of the tilting of Earth and the revolving of it around the sun, that is the reason why we have different seasons. And because of the sunlight that we receive from the sun, then we have different climate as well. Yay! Question before we start. Okay, before we start with our game, Maha Blanca, we do not have longer daylight or shorter daylight. Probably sunrise and sunset will only differ. Mostly you would see longer darkness towards December. Yay! Okay, before we start with the game, can I have Sacha and Maha Blanca, congratulations for winning our birthday week. I will be giving you your 50 pesos worth of load. Alright, so we will play again tonight the 24 card game. So I think you are all familiar with this game. That means that you will have to, I'll just write it here. If you have your ace, that is considered to be 1. So the characters, yay, yeah, can you send me your number, Chacha and Maha Blanca, before we start our game? So when we start the 24 card game, your A is 1, your Jack is 11, your Queen is 12, and your King is 13. The rule of the game is you can use any of the operations in math. However, you can only use the card once. Yes, Maha Blanca, there are some days or some time where we will have not really longer time, but just that the sunset and the sunrise is different. I am not so sure which time of the year, but we do have mostly when it is towards December, we will have longer. Next week we will be playing Kahoot. Next week we will be playing Kahoot. Next week. For tonight we will be playing 24 card game. Alright, so if you are ready, we will start with the game. I hope you receive your 50 pesos worth of load, Maha Blanca. Sacha. Okay, so if we're ready, here is the first question. The first person who can answer will receive 10 pesos worth of load. Okay, so Queen here is 12. Okay, I hope you receive your 50 pesos worth of load, Sacha. Okay, let's play. Again, the rule of the game is that you can only use the card once, but you can use any of the operation. Welcome, Maha Blanca. You can use any of the operations so that the final answer is 24. Let's go. Welcome. Okay, 2 plus 7 plus 2 plus 3, 24. Well done, Punini. Well done. That is correct. Punini, please do send me your number and I will be sending you your 10 pesos worth of load. Okay? Let's proceed to the next question. Punini, please send me your answer. Sorry. Please send me your number. Okay, we have 3, 2, 4, and 10. Okay? Again, 3, 2, 4, and 10. Punini, please send me your number. While the rest, do try to solve that you will get 24 for this. Congratulations, Punini. You just won 10 pesos worth of load. Yay! All right. Congratulations, Punini. I just sent you your 10 pesos worth of load. Anyone who wants to try? Okay. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 plus 10 is 22. 22 plus 2 is 24. Wow, well done. Well done. Well done, Maha Blanca. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 plus 10 is 22. 22 plus 2 is 24. Well done, Maha Blanca. Do send me your number so that I could send you your 10 pesos worth of load, okay? While Maha Blanca is sending me her number, the next question that we have is 3, 5, Jack, and 7. So Jack here is 11, okay? Again, Jack is 11. Please send me your number, Maha Blanca. So we have 3, 5, 7, and 11. Yay! Alright, I hope you receive your 10 pesos worth of load, Maha Blanca. Who can answer this? 3, 5, Jack, and 7. Oh, something is wrong. It's not sending for a while, Maha Blanca. Okay, let me try again. Anyone who would try to answer the one on the screen? I hope you have received your 10 pesos worth of load. Anyone who would try to answer the one on the screen for you to be able to win 10 pesos worth of load? Again, for those who just joined us, it will be you need to add, subtract, divide, multiply one card to another so that the final answer is 24. Yay! All right. Okay. So we will proceed. Sacha. Okay. 7 minus 3. 7 minus 3 is 4. Okay. 4. What is that, Sacha? Oh, 11. Okay. Got it. 11 minus 5 is 6. 6 times 4 is 24. Well done, Sacha. Well done. Please type in your number. This is correct. So 7 minus 3 is 4. 11 minus 5 is 6. 6 times 4 is 24. Well done. We will be moving on to second to the last question. We have queen. Our queen here is 12. You have 10, 4, and 5. Okay? Queen is 12, 10, 4, and 5. Please type in your number, Sacha. Okay. And we are nearing to the last and final question for tonight. So queen is 12, 10, 4, and 5. I hope you will be able to answer. I hope you receive your 10 pesos load, Sacha. I think this is the last question for tonight. Yes, this is the last question for tonight. Before we end our live stream. Welcome, Sacha. Okay, who would want to answer? This is our last and final question for tonight. Queen is 12. You have 10, 4, and 5. We have 1 minute more. 1 minute to go before we close our last and final question. I hope someone would want to answer. And you will win 10 pesos worth of load. Going once, going twice. Hi Eteniram, 12 times 5, okay, is 60, and then 60 divided by 10 is 6, and 6 times 4 is 24. Well done Eteniram, well done. 12 times 5, so 12 times 5 is 60. 60 divided by 10 is 6. 6 times 4 is 24. Well done, Eteniram. Well done. You just won 10 pesos worth of load. If you are from the Philippines, please do send me your phone number. Chat it on the chat box. 10 divided by 5 is 2. 2 plus 4 minus 2 is 2. 12 times 2 is 24. Yes, that is correct as well, Punini. Let's wait for Eteniram. If Eteniram, can you please type in your phone number? Yay! Well done. Alright, okay. Okay, so we have our final, I think I have one more. Yes, one more. 0, oh sorry. All right. Please do type in Eteniram if you have received your 10 pesos worth of load. Please do type in. Just send me a thumbs up or a yeah or a yes or okay if you have received your 10 pesos worth of load. We have our last and final question. Ace is 1. Okay, ace is 1, and then we have 6 and 8. Ace is 1, and we have 6 and 8. Please do type in, send me an emoticon or anything to ensure that you receive your 10 pesos worth of load. We have our last and final question for tonight. We have 1, 6, 8, and 1. 1, 6, 8, and 1. Yay! I hope you receive it, Eteniram. Well done. Congratulations for winning 10 pesos worth of load. Okay, last and final question. Last and final question before we end our online live stream, online tutorial live stream. Who would like to try this? I think this is the easiest question. Congratulations once again to all the winners. We have our final and last question for our 24 card game, and this 24 card game is brought to you by Gcash. Wow, Punini, 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay, 6 divided by 2 is 3. Oh, 6 divided by 2 is 3. And then 1 plus 1 is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 times 8 is 24. Well done, Punini. Well done. Please type in your number on the chat box, and you will receive your 10 pesos worth of load. Welcome, Eteniram. Bonjour. Merci beaucoup. Thank you everyone for joining. Punini, please do type in your number before we end our session for tonight. Welcome, Eteniram. Thank you everyone. I hope that you were able to learn something tonight. Yes, learn something tonight. We have learned in maths. Okay, wait, let me just finish Punini's number, typing it. Okay, we just learned in maths how to do the operations of addition and subtraction of polynomials. Again, for you to be able to understand, you have to, yes, I hope that you have received your 10 pesos worth of load, Punini. You have to identify like terms before you can add and subtract. You can only add and subtract if they are like terms. And as well as for science, we have learned the different layers of our atmosphere. And always remember that it started with your troposphere, followed by your stratosphere, mesosphere. Meso means middle, and you have thermosphere, and exosphere is the last because it means outermost, exiting. So exosphere is our last layer. So that is how you would be able to remember and familiarize yourself with the different layers of the atmosphere. And I hope that you have enjoyed our 24 card game tonight. We will have more games next week. I hope that you will be able to join us next week, same time, 7 p.m. next week for our online tutorial and games. Please do chat or send a message or leave a comment behind if you have any pressing. Oh, sorry, Kaini. Next week, we will have Kahoot next week. I hope that you enjoyed and learned. Welcome, Maha Blanca. I hope that you enjoyed and learned something tonight. And of course, yes, welcome. And of course, as always, before we end and signing off from our online tutorial and live stream, as Teacher Maria would always say, please do live your life to the fullest and worth living. Learn something new every day. Always learn something new. That's that's one of the important things. And of course, love one another as how our God loves us. See you next week, Tuesday. Yay! Yes, welcome, Chacha. See you next week, Tuesday. Same time, same face, same face. And please do watch out for our episode for this Sunday, which is artsy session. It's a special episode for Mother's Day. It's a painting of a mother and daughter. Please watch it out, and I hope that you would enjoy our episode for this Sunday. Thank you, everyone. Once again, thank you very much. See you next week. Bye, everyone. See you next week. Thank you very much for joining, and congratulations to those who won 10 pesos worth of load from our games, and of course Maha Blanca and Chacha for winning the 50 pesos worth of load from our fun facts or facts about Teacher Maria. Good night, everyone. God bless. Have a blessed week ahead. See you next week. And of course, please do watch out for our Sunday episode release special for Mother's Day. Bye. Thank you. Bye-bye. Good night, everyone. Bye.